Hello everybody, out here in Minnesota with the champ, Mark Ritter, four-time champ. And I just wanted to show y'all what I'm seeing here. And good morning to you all. Okay, all right, this is his kit box area. I'm gonna let Mark jump in here in just a minute, but I want to give you a surrounding right here. I want y'all to look at these trees, because I never really pictured these trees, you know, when everybody talks about Marks and his birds and stuff, but he's surrounded by really tall trees, so that makes it difficult at certain times of the year for us competitors. But anyway, here's the champ himself, Mark.
Hi,
he's
guys.
going to walk us through a little tour here so y'all can see this small operation that produces big results. I had to get it on video so y'all can see what I'm seeing. Okay, Mark, go ahead.
The one thing, Kevin, which I think is a good scenario, a lot of people, when they try to trap train and things like that, that makes it a little bit difficult. Reality, I take, and let me grab my little cage quick.
This is his kit box. It's got 4 kit boxes here and a little, I think he's got a little one on the end there, you can see.
To kind of protect my young birds so they don't get hawk ate, I start with a little cage, a show pin, half of show pin. It goes on top of my fly pins, and for babies that are just babies starting out, I put like a feeder in here with some feed on it, and the babies will go in here so they can be protected from the hawks and whatever, and then I don't have to worry about them getting up and going on the other buildings or whatever. And then when I want them to learn how to trap, I just remove this board and let them just sit up there, and eventually they see the feed and they just go in there to eat, and they train themselves the very first day. It doesn't matter how young they are. And once they have that down to a science, that after a little bit, then I take it off and let them walk around. And if you have like I said, if you have kind of a bird that does land on the buildings or whatever, and doesn't want to go in, I have the ability to shut the window, and then when that bird does come back and goes into the fly pen, at least if you have a problem with some kind of predator getting that bird, you only lose one rather than a bunch. And they kind of self-train themselves, so you don't have to push them through any traps or anything like that. It just works.
Yeah.
And in fact, like I said, it's just the cat's meow.
Yeah, a drop trap. Yep, and it got a window that secures the rest of the birds if one's left out. Okay, can we take a look inside?
Sure. Now, normally what I do, Kevin, is I raise about 30 to 35 a year, and then of course they're my young birds, and then of course this is the old birds. I mean, this is my main team, and this is some extra cock birds I have, but this is all the birds, all the flyers I own. I think right now I think there's a lot. I think I got about 45 or 50, I guess.
Old birds?
Nope. I got 18 old hens and 16 old cocks, and that's all I have. And then young birds, I've got about 35.
Okay.
That's like my normal breeding. I had to breed a little bit longer this year because the hawks have taken about 15 from me this year.
You lost a team yearlings, right?
Yeah, which is usually unheard of for me, because I'll be honest, as much as people have the losses, when I tell them I lose about 2 or 3 birds a year to a hawk, that's because I don't have a lot of hawk issues. But this year it's been terrible.
Yeah. Some nice looking birds. I'm going to jump in here just to get a look at some of these birds.
I don't start breeding until about the 2nd week of April. So right now some of them are pretty bad molted. But
so he pointed out to me these perches that he put in here, and he got the idea from some, right here is a good example, that he got sent to him, and they're made so the wings go on there to prevent the poop getting down on the bird below. But he put them in there and hadn't put the wings on them yet, and discovered that they do just fine without the wings on there. They don't poop on it. They kind of shoot it to the middle. He says he don't have to clean very often, similar to my wire and my perch system. Don't have to clean very often. But I thought that was pretty cool. Just regular old 2x2s or 2x3s screwed to a 1x4 makes a good perch. Good looking birds. Nice tappy. There's the younger kit here, just winged off, and some of them up kitting a little bit, I believe. Is that right, Mark?
Yeah, like I said, some of them are pretty young, and like I said, the bad thing about breeding so late, though, they don't get a chance to really molt out before we get too cold here. But
I love model pigeons. That's a good looking black model right there.
that is a pigeon Joe Ayers sent me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And he is a daddy to a couple of birds right now in here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, so these are the cocks over here we just looked at.
Yeah. And there is my main team. They're all hens. And they average, there is one bird in there from this year that came on, but most of the birds are 2, 3, and 4 years old.
Yeah, very well cared for.
They're a pretty nice bunch of girls.
Yeah, good looking. Healthy. Got a good sheen to them. Yeah.
But surprising that, like I said, some of those birds I planned on flying have only been back out of the stock pen about 4 days.
Mm-hmm. He's got pine trees everywhere, so come in handy for nesting materials. All back here, it's a white pine there. He's said that works really well, and he got several up in his front part of his place here. Again, look at the tall trees here. I didn't picture this before, how tall the trees are, how thick around this place. Now here's his breed loft. It appears to be about 10 foot.
It's 8 by 10.
Yeah, okay, 8 by 10. There you go. 8 by 10. This is all of it, folks. This is his breeding loft, and that's his kit box right there. That's his pigeon operation. Small operation produces big results.
But I make sure, Kevin, when it comes, I think the bird should be happy. So my nest boxes are about the size of a lot of people's kit boxes.
Yeah.
They're actually 4 feet by 26 inches by 30 inches.
You got the dowel rod fronts here. So they're 30 inches wide, 30 inches deep,
And 48 inches tall.
and 48 inches tall. You got a little shelf in the middle.
And I breed out a 6 pair, but if I need babies, I do put a couple foster pair together.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Individuals right here. I want y'all to look at these little feeders right here. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Got the poop block on top. Yeah.
They do pretty good about not messing with them too, but
Yeah. There's them perches right there.
and then once I'm done breeding, I'll put perches back in here, and then as I retire young birds that's to come into the roll
Yeah.
for the winter time,
Yeah. Winter lockdown.
but they have to come into the roll or they keep flying.
Yeah. There's several people that does that.
Yeah.
Same thing, myself included.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really neat. What is this over here, this pin on the end?
This is where I keep my old hens when I break them up.
Okay.
That's my entire stock birds.
Let's get a look at them, huh, guys?
And the red check up there, she's a 2012.
Yeah.
The broached hen underneath, she's a 2011. Most of those birds in there are 9 and 10 years old, so they're just, I think they're pretty much retired from stock because they're just old.
Yeah.
So some of my main team I actually had in here for flying. In fact, a couple of those really should be back in the A team, but they just came out yesterday, so it's kind of.
Well, Mark, thank you for showing us your setup. And, I think all of us need to strive for this right here. Or I particularly, I want a smaller operation that produces big results. cut down the work really, and the feed bill.
The feed bill is good, yeah.
Can we look at your mix here, Mark?
Sure.
Is this one you mix yourself?
We pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it looks pretty rich in oil seeds. What is that? Oh, okay. That's red wheat in there, isn't it?
Yeah. Red wheat, milo, Austrian peas, and maple peas.
And who do you feed this to?
Actually, I feed it to all my babies until they're delivering about 45 minutes of fly time.
Yeah.
And then I cut it back. That I feed to the breeders, but because of my weather up here, it's a 50-50 mix all the time.
Okay. What about, would you mind sharing with us what you feed your performing teams, your competition teams?
Sure. The old birds, because sometimes, like always, they kind of make you mad. I'll feed them red wheat, but when I fly them, and the day that they actually fly, I'll feed them this breeder mix.
Oh.
And I just let them eat, and then I cut back a little bit as I'm getting ready to feed them again.
The same mix right here?
Yep.
Oh. Okay. And do you at any time do you put them on wheat or finish them off or cut them back? You say cut them back. You mean add wheat to it or what?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The old birds that I fly, like I said, the only day they get the breeder mix is the day they fly. After that, I feed them red wheat.
Okay. So if you're flying on Saturday morning, Friday night or Friday morning, you're going to feed this right here to them straight.
After they fly.
Oh, after they fly.
After they fly, I feed this.
Yeah.
Then once, because I think they need to build back up again, and feeding wheat in this country is a little bit hard on them.
Okay, so give us the last 3 days. Okay, you're going to fly on Saturday. Okay, so let's say Wednesday, whenever they come in from the fly, they're going to get this right here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then they're going to get on Thursday. You're going to rest them, or you're going to fly them again?
No, on the next day, I'll just give them. I'll give them a normal ration of wheat, what they kind of get.
Yep.
Then if the next day, and this is just the competition team.
Right.
The next day I'll give them half feed.
Yep.
And then, or depending on how they flew,
yep,
there's possibilities I don't feed them anything before I fly them the next day.
Yeah.
Because then I know I can control them a little better because they fly like a long time.
So they get one rest day only, or do you give them 2 rest days before they fly?
If they're in shape,
yep,
I give them 2 rest days. When I take them out of the box, because most times my birds are down for 6 months,
yeah,
I'll fly them every day unless
like
they get in trouble.
Like the hens you mentioned,
right?
that just come
I'll
out.
I'll fly them every day, and then once they come back into the roll,
yep,
then it's either a 2-day or 3-day, depending on the weather, of course.
Okay, all right. Okay, brother.
But the one thing, Kevin, that I'm kind of lucky with,
yeah,
and a lot of people may not have the same situation. My birds could be locked up for a year.
Yeah.
As the good Lord is my witness, they will kit 100% when they go back in the first day.
Yeah.
So you really don't have to do much as far as that goes.
Yeah.
You just bring them back into the roll.
Yeah. So you've had them for how many years now? 10 years?
I've had this family since about 2013. So 11 years.
Okay. And they go primarily back to...
pretty much go back to
Donaldette's birds.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my original start, like I said, I can give John Elton a kind of a coop up because he kind of started me too.
Okay.
But they're pretty much all Donaldette.
Yeah. And you don't have an issue with them flying high or
not
anything
at all.
Like people talk about the Pinson birds.
It's to me when people call me and tell me, what do you do to get them to fly lower, whatever. I never have the issue, and I don't know if sometimes because people think they got to starve their birds to get them to roll. That they become so feather light. That the lighter air takes them airborne. Mm-hmm. Me, I feed them. Like I said, if I hand you one of my breeders, I hand you one of my flyers, they're almost identical. Yep. So I just never had the problem with it. Yep. And I guess you don't win, and I don't want to sound like I'm not being humble, but you don't win as much as I do if you have to worry about them flying high because they're not going to get judged. Right. So
so let's look at this feed one more time just so you guys know. This is what he's feeding them. It's a mix that he kind of throws together himself. It's heavy in wheat, got a little safflower, maple peas, Australian peas looks like,
Yep.
and Canadian peas,
there's-
and Milo.
there's no millet in there.
Yeah, so that's about it. It's just a plain, simple mix. And he feeds it to all of them all the time and cuts back a little bit toward the end if needed. Okay, Mark, I'm going to shut this thing down.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time and showing us your operation here. It's very impressive. You get so much out of so little. Yes, sir. All right. Until next time, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.